for checking into this YouTube video today. It is Beefcake here coming at you with all that's good in the world.
Yeah, I also got Clutch here for once. Usually the guy you hear yelling in the background, something or another.
he's not wrong about that. He's usually the one that's yelling in the background, raging about something. Well, let's get into today's video. So first off, we're going to be talking about creating a loadout, and which will lead into our next topic, but we'll get there in just a sec. So what goes into creating a loadout, Clutch?
Loadouts are important. It just depends on the player's play style, honestly, and knowing how you play. Are you sitting back? Therefore you would want something that's able to control longer ranges, and hold anchor points. Or are you more of a Slayer type player where you want to be as fast and be able to get in and out of gunfights as quick as possible? There's also support characters. We have a really good teammate in our clan, R30, or Bangas as we call him. He's a really big support player. He doesn't get a lot of kills, but he kind of makes some of the plays happen. He typically runs a riot shield and knives, and he's saved my butt more than a handful of times. That is for sure.
This is definitely true. You don't have to be top of the kill leaderboard in order to be a good player, have what makes a good teammate, for sure. Well, I'll talk a little bit about what I look at when creating a loadout. So really what I'm looking at when I'm creating a loadout is something that feels good. For the playstyle that I play, I predominantly play a Slayer role. When we're talking about Call of Duty, Slayers are usually the leader of the pack in the pushing or
They typically have more kills, but that doesn't necessarily mean any of the other play styles are less important, because they are just as important as Slayer, if not more important. If the Slayer doesn't have any backup, he's going to be running and getting dying 2 or 3 other people every single time.
This is true. As a Slayer player, if you don't have good support, you are definitely only getting 1, maybe 2 kills and then dying. Because without support, you're not playing the Slayer role. Just being perfectly honest. But
absolutely, and real quick, I just want to say that I feel most players feel like they're a Slayer player, and I want to encourage people to try out other positions, see what you like, because sometimes everyone trying to play a Slayer player is just hindering the team and bogging the team's progression down. Sometimes, it's not a bad idea to pull out an SVA or even a sniper rifle and try to hold down hard angles. That way other Slayer players, someone who might get more kills than you, be able to lock down zones of the map, because that's what wins matches, is map control.
That is definitely a good point. Being able to change up your playstyle is also important. As me, myself, and I, Team Beefcake over here, has predominantly plays a Slayer role. That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have other loadouts for different things.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite loadouts is actually for probably more of an anchor role, and that's currently the DTIR 30-06 with a sniper rifle.
Phenomenal gun for the anchor role. It's probably the best in its class when it comes to holding down hard, longer angles. Ridiculous gun. It's a 3-shot.
This one's really good just for that ability set. It can hit really long range, as well as just you can be quick with it as well. It's not something that's hindered in either factor.
Right.
My go-to, however, is definitely something in the assault rifle category or the SMG category, and the reason being is they're definitely just quicker. My probably go-to currently is the FJX when we're talking about multiplayer. When we're talking about Warzone, usually running a little differently, because Warzone runs a little differently than anything
it definitely
else.
does. Guns are funky in both games. That's something else to realize. You see these meta builds and whatnot. Sometimes those builds are only good for Warzone, or they're only good for multiplayer. A really good, for example, is is what you just said, the Stalker. Excuse me, I couldn't think of it. The Stalker's phenomenal multiplayer. It's absolute dog water in Warzone. It's one of the worst snipers you can pick.
He's not wrong. The Stalker is really good in multiplayer, but Dogwater and Warzone, there are so many other snipers that outclass the Stalker when it comes to Warzone that it's just not even funny. Well, most of you may be asking yourselves, what do I pick when I'm looking to build my loadout? And
exactly,
if you haven't learned by now, not to worry. There are still people that are learning and on a path doing so. Well, you should probably...
Including members of our clan.
Oh,
I them all the time.
I wasn't going to call anyone out like that, but you're not wrong.
We don't need names, but there's sometimes people just are stubborn, and it's good to try different things and see what works best for you. I really like the SVA, and that's pretty much a dead assault rifle in Warzone and multiplayer, and I think it's still very competent in both modes. So there's always that. Don't always follow what the other YouTubers are saying to pick. If you like something, then I think you should run it. I mean, I had a tac stance mini Bach build that I built for multiplayer just as a joke, and it turned out to be insane. It was a 3 or 4 shot before the next update, but it was absolutely crazy. So you never know. Sometimes a little experimentation's good on that front. Don't get sucked into just running statics and STGs and Car 98s, knives. We'll play multiplayer, and there's honestly 5 guns that hold up 90% of what people use, and everything's honestly busted in this game.
And just because something isn't the fastest doesn't mean that you can't make it work, and doesn't mean that it can't be something that's good. Well, so
absolutely.
Let's talk about just building the loadout itself. What I look for personally is I'm looking for something that I can be a little more mobile with, but also something that doesn't have crazy recoil.
Absolutely.
As an individual that may not be as good at the game, I definitely am not looking for something that's necessarily the craziest option, or something that's
This is also coming from players who play legit. Sometimes you see some of these builds and you build them for yourselves, and it has the most massive recoil ever. Yeah, sure, it might be fast, it might have a high TTK or time to kill, but for the normal player, it's completely unusable because it just shoots to the moon. And that's not realistic, that's players, with a little bit of plug-in help, you know what I mean?
A little Cronus, little script that helps them out in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so when I look at it at the SJX, just when we're taking a look at that gun in particular, currently the Quartermaster Suppressor is absolutely busted for every gun that it's allowed to be used on. And
pretty much.
It definitely helps in a lot of ways, more than just what it specifies in the pros for it, and that's why it's important to figure out what it feels like rather than just what it says.
Exactly.
Secondly, the regular FJX is really good, and thanks to the update, it also comes with a 60-round magazine as an attachment option, but you can get essentially a barrel and a magazine attachment when you just do the jack kit. So I run the Jack Scimitar kit because you essentially get 2 attachments in one.
And we're talking about the Horus Beefcake.
Yeah, well, that's what's on my screen currently. So
gotcha.
The FJX Horus.
I didn't know if I quite heard you right, so I was making sure everyone else heard you. So the FJX Horus.
It's the FJX Horus.
I think that's a phenomenal gun as well. Really good contender for the Quartermaster Suppressor. Extends the range of an SMG. This gun's competent in all ranges besides the farthest people out.
He's not wrong. Even at the far ranges, I would still say it's pretty competent. It's not going to be as competent as maybe some of the other options that are out there, but it's definitely still a very competent option. When you're looking for an underbarrel, it's important to understand what you're looking to gain out of said attachment. Every attachment has its pros and has its cons. If we just look at the no stock mod, it's got its pros of sprint to fire speed, movement speed, aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, but its cons are gun kick control, recoil control, aim idle sway, and flinch resistance. Now, flinch resistance is your ability for your crosshair to not move while you're getting shot. So if you're
will
not
absolutely get you killed if it's high on there.
that's debatable, but most likely it's getting you killed. Just throwing that out there. It's also important to know, are you good with the iron sights that are on the gun? So if we just look at it, here are the iron sights. They're not horrible, but, you know, an optic definitely helps out in that regard. I personally like the Jack glassless optic. I feel like it's really good, and I feel like it's definitely one of the best optics that is in this game.
Yeah, it's pretty much universal for a lot of weapons if you're running a closer range. I mean, if you can run those iron sights, though, because the Horus iron sights are really not that bad, you could possibly put on an ammunition attachment and increase your velocity. That could win a gunfight for you. Arguably, someone could argue that having a higher velocity instead of an optic would help.
Yeah, some would argue, but I disagree with those individuals that argue that point, because when we're talking about this, unless you're really building this as your long-range option, velocity doesn't necessarily matter a whole lot, because if this is your close-range option, you're probably not far enough out shooting this that velocity is going to matter. So
probably not.
That's
probably
also
not.
something.
But once again, it's all subjective. I mean, I can hit the third dummy with the iron sights on the Horus with you know, the scimitar kit, and you make sure to put the paracord grip on there, or the quartermaster suppressor. There's also really good options if you don't have the paracord grip. Honestly, you can use the Shark Fin 90. You can use the DR6, which is still one of the fastest ADS and movement speed underbarrels in the game. And for the quartermaster suppressor, if you don't have that, the Zem 35 is what pretty much me and the whole clan, myself and the whole clan ran for months before the quartermaster came out. So the Zem 35 is also a very capable muzzle if you don't have the quartermaster or the paracord grip.
This is also true. The DR6 hand stop's a good one. The XRK Edge BW4 hand stop's a good option. The Jack Slash is also a good option. It says it doesn't do a lot, but it definitely feels like it does a lot. So it's really all about feel. If it looks like it probably is good and feels like it's good, then it's good. That's really the determining factor.
Well, and definitely use the favorite feature in this game. I'm sure it'll continue to other games. But if you hit triangle or Beefcake, what is triangle for Xbox? It's Y, I think.
Y?
Yeah, if you hit triangle or Y, you can favorite the attachment, and then that way there's only like 5-6 good attachments. Yeah, because there's how many attachments in this? There's 30 underbarrels, but there's realistically 6 of them that are usable.
This is very true. Also, saving a loadout, beneficial. You should definitely save a loadout. Then you're not always having to rebuild it every time or change it every time.
I believe you're allowed to have 4 per weapon. So you could have 4 for the Horus, 4 for the Car 98, whatever. As soon as you go past 4, it's going to want you to one of those classes, but that's not a big deal. It especially helps if you say you found something you really like in multi in Warzone. You can save it as a blueprint, pop that right in on Warzone, and then possibly adjust, you know, some range and maybe an optic on there. Makes your life a lot easier.
This is true. Just adjusting it, making little tweaks as you're going to help you out with those things is definitely never a bad option.
Yeah, and like we always suggest to have multiple classes and to be, you know, changing them out. You know, you're like, okay, well, where's a good example. I used to really like the what was it, the HMR, goodness gracious, the SMG.
HMR 9?
Yeah, the HMR 9. I used to really like the HMR 9. I don't think it's a very viable weapon anymore. So, you know, you swap that out, you try something different. They're constantly buffing and patching guns, you know, so you just try, you know, that's another thing you could advise, is just look at the patch notes and read, oh no, my favorite gun got nerfed, but this gun got buffed, so, you know, maybe try that gun. The striker wasn't good for a while. The striker was amazing, and then it got nerfed, and now it's amazing again. So you never know when it comes to that aspect of the game, anyways. Good old Activision.
Good old Activision deciding what we're playing with.
Yeah, you can have dual Lockwoods that absolutely murk kids from 50 meters with one shot, and then we're going to nerf them, and then we're just going to bring them back as the Reclaimer 18s, which are arguably even stronger close range than the Lockwoods.
Yeah, but it's only got 4 shots instead of 6 shots. So, there's some balancing that goes on there. And
I guess, but the Lockwoods you had to pull the trigger and fully rack with the lever into rack a new round lever. These you just pull the trigger 4 times and it's just a barrage.
Yeah, you just full send or no send. This is kind of the truth.
I mean, but in conclusion, for the most part, depending on what you're comfortable with, if you're Slayer, you're obviously going to be wanting a speedy SMG, whether it be the static or the striker, or there's so many, the Horus. There's so many options for SMGs that are super viable. A lot of people swear by the Wasp 9, and for the most part, all the attachments for these guns aren't going to change a whole lot. For an anchor style player, you could get away with something like the Superi or the Horus with the Scimitar kit and a longer barrel. But a lot of us like to run an assault rifle, whether it be the SVA. I try to pretend the MCW doesn't exist, if I'm going to be honest.
The MCW. You're funny.
The new DTIR is really good in an anchor style position. If you're playing OBJ, you could consider an assault rifle. It also depends on why it's really important to have, have an assault rifle class you're comfortable with, an SMG class you're comfortable with, and possibly a close range, quick sniper class you're comfortable with, and a longer range. Make sure you don't get a hit marker long range class, and that should cover most of these things. And if you're wanting to play a support character, that's a whole another rabbit down a rabbit hole.
Well, maybe let's talk about playstyles for them. Go through some of them.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
And talk about it. So, I mean, we've already kind of talked about the Slayer role, and that's because that's what Beefcake plays predominantly most of the time when he plays.
That's what most of you guys get to see. Yeah.
That's predominantly what Beefcake plays. Beefcake is probably more of a swing player, as he tries to make up for things that don't necessarily have all the time.
Well, it also depends who's online with us. Like, for our clan, we have almost 18 individuals, I believe, now that send in clips, and we use their clips and whatnot. It's mostly Beefcake and myself, Clutch, that handles the whole YouTube and clan side of things. But depending who we're playing with, it's obviously a different composition of players, and so the play styles are different. And so sometimes myself or Beef has to play a swing position where we play something that we're not normally used to. But even though we're not used to it, it's still more beneficial for the team and will get us a win easier than if we just strong-headed it and it kept playing our comfortable position, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
sometimes you
totally.
don't. Sometimes you don't want to have to capture the flag, but sometimes just because you're a Slayer player, you got 50 kills. Sometimes you got to go capture a flag here and there.
This is true. Let's talk about swing position since we brought it up. What would you define the swing position as?
The swing position I would describe as a player that is looking at the map and seeing or not just the map and like the team composition, how is the enemy playing, is there a need for an anchor player and there isn't one? Say you guys are getting picked off of like a longer range angle. Maybe the swing player needs to start playing more an anchor position, anchoring that spot, preventing that player from wiping out your team, or it could possibly be support. Maybe you got 3 dudes trying to play Slayer players, so you need to run support. You run a riot shield, and a knife, and you get in front of them and you try to shield them so that way they can get either quick picks off with a sniper rifle, or they can pick them off with an SMG. Running things like concussions or smokes, or there's all kinds of builds you can do with that. I mean, there's a field upgrade called Smoke Airdrop, and I love this thing as a support style role. As long as you're communicating with your team and they know what to expect, the Smoke Airdrop can completely change the dynamic of a match completely, because you can't see anything in front of you. So if you guys play that to your advantage, where the enemy team is running through an area that's smoked, and you're holding angles and they just smoke, not knowing where anyone's at, it's strong. For the most part, a swing player, I believe, is just someone that's looking to do the best thing for the team in the current moment. That's how I describe a swing player. Someone that's able to sit back and just get those long-range kills, or maybe everyone else is sitting back, so you have to play a Slayer player, encourage them to move up and get more map control. Swing player is basically just a fancy word for filling a role.
Right on. And you said that you're an anchor player. Well, how would you explain the anchor position or the anchor role?
Oh, so, for example, if you're playing on, let's say we're playing on an Afghan, right? And the team wants to go B flag, or we're trying to hold B flag, or B bomb, excuse me, typically. I usually speak in search and destroy lingo, but the anchor player will get on the rocks near B bomb and try to watch the long shot, just like that. I was a little slow to the get.
And eliminate your kick like that.
Absolutely. You're trying to essentially... That shot didn't even hit. Anyways, you're trying to essentially cover your Slayer and your OBJ player, who's possibly trying to plant the bomb. The Slayer's trying to make sure that the team can't cluster up. If you're to go A bomb, then you can run bunker, you can hold tree. I like right here, try to make sure no one's on back of plane. Top of A, little bunker, and then by here you'll see someone somewhere.
Oh shit, I'm bad at the game. Well, that was a bad word, everybody. Sorry.
No, it's still funny.
You mentioned an OBJ position. Define OBJ for everyone that doesn't know.
So OBJ is kind of arbitrary when it comes to search and destroy. So this specific example won't necessarily work, because the bomb. I'll start by saying the bomb is either taken by the Slayer or the OBJ player. Either the Slayer wants to take it, and in this example, they'll rush A, and hopefully their anchors can jump back plane, make sure that everyone on the Humvee is dead, and then that way they can rush plant B, and it'll completely confuse the team as long as everyone's playing cohesively. Excuse me. The rush plant to A on Afghan specifically is kind of a risky move. What you just saw. If your team doesn't hold the angles and you just rush plant A, you could be killed from any angle. I didn't even know B picked on top of plane behind me, for example. If the OBJ player gets bombed, then they're more trying to let their anchors do their role, while the Slayer runs and gets in position to, the best possible position to slay the team. So I guess I'll use the example more as an OBJ player. If you're an OBJ player, honestly, as an OBJ player on search, you're also kind of an anchor player. You're kind of holding back a little bit. You're watching the long snipes. You're watching the long head glitch or whatever, the good angles on the map.
So you would say that the Slayer and the OBJ kind of play interchangeably?
In search and destroy, yes. If it was domination, then the Slayer's trying to get as many possible kills as they can and trying to control the player to one specific flag, and the OBJ player would be going through and holding your flags, / going and getting, if you lose a flag and it's like 1 flag to 2 flags the enemy has, the OBJ player would be trying to lock down the second flag.
Oh. Covert sneakers in this game are just dirty.
That's another thing. Activision tried to encourage people to not use covert sneakers by buffing all the other boots. If it's search and destroy, just run effing covert sneakers.
Just run covert sneakers. If you're not, you're the problem on your team. Just truthfully, because search and destroy isn't fast-paced enough, and most of the maps are too big for anything else to really make sense. Because if you got good players that know what they're doing and are playing their position correctly, then it shouldn't matter how fast you're able to get to a spot. Your anchor player or slayer player should still be able to take out said individual.
And regardless of all these tips, timing is a thing. COD timing is a thing.
COD timing is definitely a thing. That's not.
Just be patient. It's a muscle memory type thing that you just figure out. It's not something. It just happens sometimes. Oh, look at Clutch missed 30 times.
He sure did. Let's talk about determining your playstyle. How would you say that you determine your own playstyle?
Where you are most comfortable and where you get the most kills and you're the most effective for your team. If you run a round and you kill 4 people on the team, I'm not saying repeat the same exact play, but play in a similar fashion and pace, and that's the sweet spot. I mean, if you're absolutely nuking kids, yeah, push up a little bit. See how far you can hold them on the map. See how far up you can get to where they can move even less.
And how do you know what role you fit into as you're playing?
Again, it's just what you're comfortable with. If you're trying to snipe and you're bottom of the leaderboard, you're not able to hit your shots, maybe a sniper's not for you. I would advise everyone to try everything out. Try playing aggressive, see how you like that. I feel like a lot of players are typically anchor and slayer players, though. Unless you have a niche and you just like using a riot shield, then maybe you somehow fall into the support category. But for the most part, swing and support are two positions that you're aware you're going into.
They're definitely rarer playstyles as they require more focus and attention to detail rather than just playing.
Yeah, it's usually intentional. Those are usually someone that started out. We all started out as an anchor player. Anchor is a nice fancy word for camper sometimes.
Not necessarily.
It's also true. It's not necessarily, but... Oh. I thought I hit Beefcake and I about crapped my pants, Beef.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just no-scoped.
Well, you did not. You just killed Blackout.
I was following you.
Excuse us for a second.
Yeah, we're just recording for the YouTube.
Hold up. Yo, Blackout, we're trying to record like a specific video, sir.
Alright.
Alright, appreciate you, buddy.
Well, that was Blackout, individual that we frequently play with. He's pretty legit. He definitely plays the Slayer role, / anchor position. He's pretty good at kind of interchangeably playing both.
Yeah, it depends. If he's playing with Beef, I feel like he steps back a little bit. But if I'm playing with him, then he likes to be up in there. Beef's like, I'm making sure I'm winning this.
I'm winning this one. How would you say you find a team or others that complement your play style?
So, try not to take the game seriously. Try to enjoy it. You know, enjoy playing the video game. What a concept, right?
What a concept. And enjoy the video game.
Just be yourself, and you'll find other like-minded individuals. And you know, me and Beefcake personally have never met, but we're pretty good buddies at this point. Been playing together for almost 2 years now, or a year and a half, something like that.
It's almost 2 years at this point.
Yeah, and we have 18 clan members, and I feel like more than half of them have been around for about a year. You know, you just do something fun and positive, and people want to join. You know, and I think setting up a Discord so everyone can communicate is a phenomenal idea. You know, I think that really helped with all of us becoming close and being able to play during like times and whatnot.
There's definitely something to be said about playing together as often as you can, or having more experience playing with a certain individual than not a certain individual, as you definitely understand their playstyle and can conform or change your playstyle accordingly. And there's definitely something to be said of being a good player yourself and figuring out where you're weak and finding those that complement your weaknesses in playing Call of Duty. Clutch definitely makes up for one of my biggest weaknesses, and that's just playing too hard too fast.
Here, Beefcake, if we can actually load into a free-for-all match so we can kind of show them what it looks like. Because after a while of playing with somebody, you'll know how they play without even really thinking about it. It's kind of strange, to be honest.
Oh, this is definitely true. After you become well acquainted with an individual and play with them often enough, you already know what they're going to subconsciously do on a map without actually doing it. I'm going to put us in search, but I'm going to change it so that you're on my team, and I'm just going to add some bots.
That's fine.
We're actually going to do 10 bots and put them on veteran level. Oh. And do 10, confirm. And
oh, you know I'm bringing out the milkshakes class.
The milkshakes class. If you don't know what he's referring to, ladies and gentlemen, he's referring to the Signal 50, which, when shot in repeated succession, sounds like the milkshake song. If you don't know what that is, and you're under the age of 18, you should probably ask your parents. I don't want to be responsible for that one.
I don't think there's any curse words or nothing. No? Maybe they're singing about a young woman who sells milkshakes, and it brings all the boys to the yard.
Oh, what a liar. And you know it. But we'll just talk about while we're going through Afghan. So I typically go up and will slay and hold this angle. It's important that as you're pushing up and gaining map control, you're not only playing together, but you're also playing in a way that you can cohesively play together.
The communication's huge as well. Oh yeah.
All of them are just sitting on B.
And leaves me 10 people to shoot. Oh my goodness, they're insane.
They're all on B. They're all sitting on B, camping. What a bunch of campers. But you'll definitely see.
I think it's good. I think this is good though, to be transparent. You know, we show our failures just as much as we show our successes. You know, I think that's fairly unique for the whole YouTube experience. You know, I personally got tired of people just acting like they're gods on Call of Duty. You know, you see the lives where they're like 12 KD Warzone player. That's impossible.
It's not impossible. It's highly improbable. And the reason that it's highly improbable is because of just the way that individuals play. There's definitely something to be said. So now that we know from the last round that they're probably all back here, we're just gonna throw a grenade and get a kill. But that will definitely move some individuals. So if using your tacticals and lethals can definitely be something that changes your gameplay. And you know,
even if you don't get a kill.
Woo! Notice how Clutch jumps in as I'm about to die to save my freaking butt. This is definitely part of just subconsciously being good duo play together.
Yep. Beefcake had the second pickup. Now it's a 2v1 and it's no problem.
2v1 and we're good. Clutch held the angle for a little while just to make sure that they weren't coming in behind us.
We realize these are bots, but for speaking purposes, it's almost impossible to try to do this in a live game.
Yeah, because as a live game, there are definitely way too many variables to account for, and it just doesn't work the same. I think I'm planning A. I'm planning.
It's okay. It's okay. I hit a really slow Grandma 360.
Hit a really slow Grandma 360. Let's take a look at this. The Grandma 360.
Oh yeah, dude.
But finding individuals that complement your playstyle, you yourself knowing how you're playing and making up for things that maybe the team is lacking at that moment in time. You know, just because
that's most of it.
Just because you die during a round doesn't mean that you can't come back next round and learn from those mistakes. The biggest thing is to not do the same thing that you did the very last time that caused the mistake to happen. Because, as we know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, I'm not saying if you die, you know... Oh, I'm bad at the game.
Me too, I'm getting hit markers. Oh, there's like 100 million of them.
Oh,
all right,
yep, I died. Good luck, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh my god, I can't hit shots. He hits all the shots.
Oh dear. That was definitely bad. But knowing what you're lacking and where you can make up and help your team is definitely a benefit.
See, this is accurate. This is the typical multiplayer experience. You know, if you've been playing this game a while.
Yeah, #1 ranked Warzone player. Yep, accurate as crap can be. They're even at the top of the leaderboard. Look at that.
All right, we gotta hide. We gotta go bunker, beef.
You go bunker. I'm going mid. I'm going mid.
All right. All right. Oh, I have a Choreo Eagle's Eye on this shit. Excuse me. On this, I have a Choreo Eagle's Eye on this, and it threw me off. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I'm at. That goes under the highlight of understanding when to fight and when to reposition. Quit peeking.
Yeah, quit
the same
peeking.
thing. If you peeked once, got shot, and you peeked again, you got shot again, and you lived, count your blessings.
Yeah.
just reposition. You're gonna die.
Know when to reposition. You haven't killed anyone. It doesn't matter. You're already on the losing streak. Don't continue the losing streak by pushing something that you definitely shouldn't. Knowing how to use your lethals and tacticals and when to use said things is definitely important, and using them to gain some.
I'm a bad one with that. I always throw my grenades right out the gate, trying to get like a spawn nade, which is a high risk, high reward thing. That nade could possibly open up your team for a play to win. Oh, you can't get the bomb, but you can get the guy. That's right, Henley. Don't got nothing on the beefcake.
On the beefcake. Beefcake's got her down.
It also looks like Beefcake was right. I thought this wouldn't go over 10-15 minutes. We are currently at 35 minutes, so this will get edited down for your convenience.
No, it'll probably just be 35 minutes, if I'm being perfectly honest. And you all will enjoy just the wonderful ASMR that is our voices just talking over this horrible
100%.
COD experience watching. Because, let's be honest, it's not a good watch, but it's a good sound. Are they all going A?
We got like 4 near bunker.
Well, nope, just kidding. I didn't get a collateral. My bad.
Shit, we got, excuse me.
Oh,
We got
I'm
one
good.
middle
I'm
plane,
safe.
we got
I'm
one
safe.
down plane, I got that one. We got one below, wing,
We got several on B.
dead. Oh god, I'm bad. He shot me with a shotgun. It's a 1v2.
It's a 1v1. We're good. I can see he's on A.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's having fun. Dang, Beefcake's going off, huh? Got all his kill streak?
Beefcake usually does go off. At some point. You know, it may take Beefcake around to figure out how the enemy's playing, but Beefcake usually figures it out and goes off.
I'm either pretty terrible or like I'm just clapping cheeks. There's no in between.
You're cracked as cracked can be.
Yeah. Let's see how this does, Beef.
Oh, the RGL 80.
That's another thing, guys. Create a dual reclaimer class. You know, you're getting mad at the game. EOMM's got you down. Dual reclaimer.
Dual reclaimers, full send.
Oh, man.
Are you down bad for kills? Dual reclaimers.
I need them. Oh, they're all underground. That's so good. I didn't expect a 5-man quad, okay? Or 5-man multi-kill. That's crazy. There's probably one near B, and there's probably one behind you. Oh. Dory went ahead and, mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
Alright, last one's near you. He's probably upstairs.
Oh,
Mistakes were
okay.
made again.
Mistakes were made.
All right, folks. We found the vice to the veteran bot. They like to blow themselves up with grenades. See, I haven't been doing hot. Beef's been running the assault rifle. I've been running goofy stuff, so I'll run an assault rifle myself. See how we do.
And
okay,
that
those are dual reclaimers.
That doesn't mean that you need to run an assault rifle to be good. You could be just as good running an SMG or a sniper or dual
Absolutely.
reclaimers.
I am comfortable with an assault rifle. That's what it is.
I personally have just
Ow,
really
ow,
been
ow, ow,
enjoying the MTZ 556 for multiplayer. It's definitely been.
Yeah, we got all of them on alpha.
Oh, I can't.
Oh
hit
my
shots.
gosh, I'm fighting like 6 of them at once. There's grenades and stuff going off. I'm flashed.
Well, I got a collateral.
Oh my
so
goodness, killed a shotgun guy.
You got this. 1v2, 1v2. He's right there, right on the left side. Right there. Hey, you got this. You can defuse. Yeah, that's right, Henley. Remember, everybody, you got to be toxic as toxic can be.
I could have gotten it even closer.
And just been the most toxic.
It's real scary though. It's scary. Yeah, you have to start at 5.2 to get it. Just so you guys know, 5.2. It's not 5.0. You hit
5.2 is the absolute limit.
It takes 0.2 seconds for your operator to open the.
And it takes 5
All
seconds
right.
to defuse.
And now I'm just gonna Canada the opposite team. If you understand that reference, you're a goat.
Oh, I don't know that we want to specify. Oh, okay. All right, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, just this is just historically accurate. Did that get no kills? Oh my god, they're all on. Oh my god!
I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something and it's working.
No. Oh, watch me, Mitch. Oh!
Oh, well, you could have been cool, but sad to say that.
Yeah, I missed 2 shots on Qatar. Oh my! Do you see how close they were? Look at
They
that
were.
little disrespectful slide and then just headshot hip fire, dude.
Oh, the disrespect really be hitting out here today.
That's just how people roll. I'm equipping a new loadout.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna try to
6,
show off.
5.
If you're really losing and you like assault rifles, just run an MCW.
1.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I'm in the match. I'm gonna put on old beefcake build.
Old beefcake build.
Beefs are here. Bro, how? Okay, there it is. I was like, how are they so good at voiding kill streak? Here you got a UAV in for the boys. Got 2 underground, 2B, 1 more. Yep. All right. Now we got people that are going to be going underground. Go and plant. Gotcha. Where you at, Dory? He's coming your way.
Got him, don't you worry. He is taken care of.
If you notice when you play cohesively, though, we both have similar amounts of kills. You know, again, this is against veteran bots, but yeah.
This is against veteran bots, so it doesn't necessarily count. So before you just hating in the YouTube comments, this is for educational purposes, not...
Yeah, exactly. This is what all this is about, though, is having fun with the game. And the game is definitely better with more people. If you have a full 6-man, you might go against the sweatiest people, but it's the most fun.
Oh, I definitely need to get better with the cat AMR, though.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm dead. I just died with bomb.
Ah! Ah!
Oh, we can't lose this one.
That's fine. We won't.
Go ahead, confirmed hacking.
Yeah, if you ever think you're tough stuff, then you should. I almost said hot and then a bad word, but
if you ever think you're hot stuff.
Yeah, you think this is easy. Why don't you and a buddy fight against 10 veteran bots? It's not as easy as it looks.
It's definitely not as easy as it looks. So I'm running dual sniper rifles, just saying.
I got a sniper too. I'm watching Cliffside. No one yet. Oh, they rush plan a day. Guarantee it. Yep.
Okay, well, we'll just make this easy.
Alright, 4 down, bud. Oh. Kill it. Woo! Okay, you got all of them.
I did.
Look at all these dead bodies.
Well, we almost died. We almost lost to 10 veteran bots, everybody, as 2v10, so, you know.
Not happening.
We're not, like, great at the game. We're not Optic Scump. Or Nate Shot, or anyone like that. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for watching, and
Absolutely.
We hope
a little bit of a ramble session, but hopefully it was enjoyable for everyone too.
We hope you enjoyed, and we hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you, everyone that subscribed.